You never see a baby crave for anything beyond milk. When a baby cries and a mother picks up the baby and starts to feed the baby, you don't see the baby look at the mother and go, "What are you doing? I want some steak." Maybe boss baby, maybe look who's talking, but no baby beyond a CGI baby is going to look at a mother and say, "I want some steak." Now, my 11-year-old son, well, actually, all four of my boys, they want them some steak. But you don't see a baby want steak. They just simply want milk. In today's reading, we see Peter tell us that if we are graduating beyond craving the spiritual milk of God, we are not getting the point of what God wants to do with our life. Now, he's not saying don't crave for things beyond spiritual milk, but he's saying if you have graduated beyond that, if you think that you are above craving spiritual milk, you've lost the point of what God wants to do with your life. Now, so often we spiritualize spiritual milk and we never define it. We emotionalize it. I am just so craving some spiritual milk right now. But we don't know what we're talking about. What is the context? What is the context behind what we've looked at the last couple of days? Be holy as I am holy. Isn't spiritual milk God's holiness? Isn't that the baseline of what God wants to do with our life? Isn't that the baseline of what God is trying to do in our life, is make us holy like he is holy? And if we are craving for things beyond spiritual milk, we've missed the point of what God wants to do in our life. Look, it is so easy. It is so easy in our performance-based culture to crave performance-based things, spiritually performance-based things. Bigger church, bigger this, bigger that, bigger whatever. And if we do that to the exclusion of craving God's holiness, we are missing the boat. And man, I have felt this recently. God is really driving in on this driven-based or performance-based culture, and the fact that he just wants me to crave for his holiness. That is the basic milk craving that every single Christian has got to have. And see, everything that God wants to do in our life is built, is based off of God's holiness, his vision for our life. Peter says it again today. We're a chosen people, a holy priesthood, a holy, or a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's own possession. Isn't every one of those based off of God's holiness? And look, when we crave God's holiness, we're going to hear and follow God. And he's going to give us his holiness. And that is going to be the light that lights up our life. He is going to give us infinity life. And you know what happens through that? We glorify God through that. Glorifying God is not some emotional high during worship, although we can glorify God during worship. Glorifying God is making the invisible God visible to those who cannot see him. And we do that through his holiness. And as Peter continues to write in 1 Peter 3:15, he says that we can give people a reason, a defense for the hope that he has placed inside of us. See, when we have faith in God, we are hoping, we are certain that his holiness will deliver a better future than the past or the present that we've done on our own. Look, what remains is this question. How are you craving God's spiritual milk? How are you craving his holiness?